On the day of the college entrance exam, the whole class walked together to the test center. The school beauty, determined not to leave any regrets about her youth, insisted on dragging the entire class to run the red light. She gave an impassioned speech. "Run through these red lights, and we'll be the bravest little sheep. From now on, our lives will be nothing but smooth roads." No sooner had she finished speaking than she led everyone dashing toward the red light. Suddenly, a car in the distance braked too late, lost control, and plowed straight into them. I pulled the school beauty back just in time, stopping everyone from jaywalking, but as soon as the exam was over, the school beauty started crying online, saying I took advantage of her while saving her, which caused her poor performance and made her drop from Tsinghua University to a community college. My classmates also came forward, saying I had no moral character, that I had long coveted the school beauty, and that I was a pervert. Later, on the day I received my admission letter from Tsinghua University, I was brutally stabbed to death by an extremist netizen disguised as a delivery driver. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day of the college entrance exam. I clutched my stomach in agony and collapsed into a pool of blood. The fake delivery driver glared at me viciously, knife in hand. "Who told you to mess with our sweetie? If it weren't for your wandering hands on the day of the college entrance exam, how could our sweetie have failed to get into Tsinghua University and only ended up in a community college?" After saying that, he kicked me hard in the stomach several more times. I curled up, my consciousness slowly fading, and closed my eyes in despair. Opening my eyes again, the fear of being stabbed still hadn't faded, and I couldn't help gasping for air. It took me a long time to calm down before I could see clearly that I was wearing the standard college entrance exam uniform and standing in the class lineup. Instinctively, I reached out and gave my arm a hard twist. It hurt. I twisted it again. It still hurt a lot. Only then did I finally dare to confirm that I had been reborn. Reborn on the day of the college entrance exam. "Class president, take everyone to the exam venue first and make sure they get there safely. I'll go check on a few students taking the exam in other districts." The homeroom teacher said this as she was about to hand me a bag full of admission tickets. I stepped back in a panic. "What's wrong, Jiang Yusen? Take your admission ticket," the homeroom teacher said, holding the bag out to me. In my previous life, I had accepted the task of leading the group to the exam hall. Along the way, the school beauty suddenly stopped everyone up ahead, pulled out her phone, and started a live stream. She spoke passionately. "Once we run through these red lights, we will be the bravest little sheep. From now on, our lives will be nothing but smooth roads." The classmates in the room all chimed in. "Go go go, be the bravest little sheep. College entrance exam takers fear nothing, youth knows no regrets, and courage is priceless." I stepped forward to try and stop everyone, but there was no holding them back. The whole class decided to follow the class bell and go completely wild on the day of the college entrance exam, being the bravest little lambs. Having said that, the class bell led everyone as they dashed across the road against the red light. Suddenly, a car in the distance braked too late, trying to avoid the school bell, lost control, and crashed toward them. I reacted quickly, pulling the school bell back just in time, and she emerged unscathed. Several following cars also lost control one after another, crashing into the roadside greenery, leaving the scene in chaos. Everyone finally calmed down and waited obediently for the green light to head to the exam hall. Thinking of this, I suddenly clutched my stomach, bent over, and put on a pained expression. "Teacher, my stomach feels off. I need to use the restroom. I'm afraid I can't lead the team anymore. This time, I won't care about anyone else. I just want to live well for myself." Seeing my pale face, the homeroom teacher looked a bit worried. "Jiang Yusen, is it serious?" I shook my head. "It's not serious. I just need to go to the restroom. You'd better find someone else to lead the team to the exam hall." The homeroom teacher said, "All right, go to the restroom first. Don't be late. If it's really bad, go buy some medicine." I said, Teacher, I'll keep my admission ticket myself." The homeroom teacher didn't say anything more. He took my admission ticket out of the bag and handed it to me. I left, clutching my stomach. This time, without me stopping anything, I'll just wait and see what happens to the school beauty, whether she can still get into Tsinghua University. From behind came the homeroom teacher's voice. "The class monitor isn't feeling well. Who wants to lead the group to the exam hall today?" As soon as the words fell, the voice of the school beauty, Yang Tian, rang out with an excited tone. "Teacher, I will. I'm the deputy class monitor. I should contribute to the class." The homeroom teacher hesitated for a moment. Although Yang Tian was the deputy class monitor, she usually couldn't handle anything properly. She helped me collect the textbook fees, but at the end, a few $100s were missing. I had to check one by one before finally collecting the full amount. She was in charge of ordering the school uniforms. When they arrived, we found that all the sizes she had recorded were wrong. In the end, I had to clean up the mess. For the school-wide commendation meeting, Yang Tian got the time wrong again, causing our whole class to be half an hour late. Before the homeroom teacher could say anything, Yang Tian snatched the admission ticket bag. "Teacher, don't worry, I will definitely bring everyone to the exam venue on time." After saying that, Yang Tian turned around and said, "We're heading to the college entrance exam venue now, follow me, let's go." The classmates were all in high spirits and echoed, "Let's go." The homeroom teacher watched everyone leave and then hurried off to find the other group of students who were taking the exam farther away. I hid behind a pillar in front of the teaching building, waiting for the bustling crowd to move far away before slowly following. I kept a certain distance from the class the whole time. After walking a few hundred meters, I arrived at the intersection where the incident happened in my previous life. Yang Tian suddenly stopped her team. Just like in the previous life, she took out her phone again and started the live stream. She spoke passionately, "Once we run through these red lights, we will be the bravest little sheep. From now on, our lives will be nothing but smooth roads. Youth should have no regrets." As she spoke, the phone camera swept across the faces of classmates in the classroom. Everyone looking inspired and spirited. "Go go go, be the bravest little sheep. College entrance exam takers fear nothing, youth knows no regrets, and courage is priceless." Then, the students lined up together at the intersection, waiting for the green light to turn red. Some other pedestrians crossing the road were displeased. "What are you doing? Why aren't you moving?" "Yeah, the light's already green. Can you stop blocking the way?" Hearing this, Yang Tian immediately raised her phone and shoved it right in the other person's face. "We're about to take the college entrance exam. Today, we come first. This road isn't yours, so don't tell us where to stand. See, you're deliberately trying to mess with our heads." Everyone in the live stream, take a look. There's a jerk here deliberately picking a fight with exam takers. I hope all the children in your family fail the college entrance exam. Seeing that Yang Tian was being unreasonable, the people around could only cast a helpless glance at her and quickly left. Yang Tian watched the departing passers-by with a smug look on her face. Then, she cleared her throat and spoke with great excitement. "The streetlight is about to turn red. Everyone's on my side. Let's dash across together." Just as Yang Tian was about to run the red light, the class's sports monitor, Xiao Rui, suddenly stepped forward and grabbed Yang Tian's arm. Tian, the class monitor isn't here yet. Shouldn't we wait for them? We're all jaywalking together. Isn't it kind of bad that he's the only one who doesn't? What a coward. He really needs to toughen up." Hearing this, I was taken aback and stepped aside to hide behind a tree. In my previous life, I had stopped Yang Tian from jaywalking. Xiao Rui, standing nearby, not only refused to help persuade her but kept provoking the situation. "Monitor, you study so well, so why are you such a coward? Everyone has been repressed for 3 years, it's time to go a little wild. Tian is doing this for everyone's good, it can help build mental resilience." I patiently tried to persuade everyone. "Today is the college entrance exam, the most important thing is to finish the exam smoothly first. You can go as wild as you want after the exams are over." After I finished speaking, everyone hesitated a bit, lowered their heads, and began whispering among themselves. Noticing some hesitation in everyone, Xiao Rui strode over in dissatisfaction and gave me a hard shove. Nearly knocking me off balance, he walked past me, muttering an insult, "Coward," then he turned and announced to the class, "I'll lead the charge." After saying that, he quickly ran through the red light and stood on the opposite side. Standing across the road, he shouted, "It's okay, come on over. By running through these red lights, we become the bravest people." Seeing this, Yang Tian broke into a smile, clenched her fist, and raised it high. "We are all the bravest little sheep, go. After Xiao Rui finished speaking, everyone began looking around for me. Suddenly, a boy in the class shouted, "I see the class monitor." "The class monitor is behind, blocked by the tree. I'll go find him." I immediately clutched my stomach and slowly walked forward. I was pulled by the boy and made to stand in the line. "Class monitor, you'd better come to the front and lead the team together." Yang Tian's voice rang out. I painfully furrowed my brow. Then, my legs giving way, I pretended to stumble and fell against the boy next to me. "My stomach really hurts, I'm going to the pharmacy. You all head to the exam hall first." With that, I turned and left the class lineup. ducking into a pharmacy around the corner. Yang Tian shot me a glance and gave a dismissive, "TCH, let's forget about Jiang Yusen and just go." With that, Zhao Rui strode forward and said, "I'll lead the way." Just like in the previous life, Zhao Rui successfully made it past the red light and stood on the other side, waving, "It's okay, hurry up and run over." At that moment, the red light came on. Yang Tian stood in front of the group with a smile, leading everyone as they rushed to the other side. Soon, the whole class had run onto the sidewalk and dashed across to the opposite side, a 4-lane road. Several cars had no time to brake. Immediately, thuds, the screech of tires on pavement, honks, and the sound of collisions rang out one after another. Yang Tian and several classmates were knocked to the ground by cars that couldn't stop in time. Several cars crashed into the green belt on the roadside, and the vehicles behind rear-ended them in succession. The originally well-connected intersection instantly fell into chaos. Standing across the street, Zhao Rui was so frightened that his legs trembled. After regaining his composure, he immediately got up and ran to Yang Tiantian's side. "Go find your admission ticket and get ready to flee the scene." Yang Tiantian's face was covered in blood. She opened her eyes in pain and grabbed Zhao Rui's hand. "Call an ambulance for me, and contact the homeroom teacher. I have to take the college entrance exam." Zhao Rui looked at Yang Tiantian's blood-stained hand, quickly pulled his own hand away, and stumbled to his feet. "The exam is about to start. I have to go. You're the one who led everyone to run the red light. That has nothing to do with me." With that, he turned and ran off. Yang Tian stared at Zhao Rui's retreating figure, gritting her teeth, and her eyes instantly darkened. Half of the students in the class were sitting on the ground, clutching their heads and arms, moaning in pain. I checked the time. There were only 15 minutes left before entering the exam hall. Grasping my exam admission bag, I turned and entered the exam hall through another school gate. In this life, I just want to quietly get into Tsinghua University, to fulfill the dream I've held for over a decade. Outside the exam hall, I saw Zhao Rui, looking dazed and distracted. He muttered to himself, "It's none of my business, nothing to do with me. They were the ones who ran the red light on their own." As soon as Zhao Rui looked up, he saw me, his eyes widened, and he quickly came over. "Class leader, I took charge of the team for you today, and I messed it up." My heart tightened. Now he's looking for someone to take the fall. I frowned. "Lead which team?" Zhao Rui said. "You know, leading the team to the college entrance exam venue." I let out a sudden sneer. "You're overthinking it. I'm not feeling well today, so I don't have to lead the team. It's not my job." After saying that, I patted him on the shoulder. "The classmates will remember what you've done for them." Zhao Rui froze instantly on the spot. Before Zhao Rui could say more, I turned and entered the exam hall, sat down in my seat, and waited for the exam to begin. 10 minutes remained before the exam started. I scanned the exam hall. There should be 5 or 6 people from our class in this exam room. But right now I'm the only one sitting here. They're probably all stuck at the intersection, unable to get away. This time, without me standing in their way, they all became the bravest little sheep, just as they wished. The scene of the car accident. Many car owners got out of their vehicles. Everyone was utterly frustrated. Hitting someone on the sidewalk, even if the pedestrians hadn't jaywalked, means the drivers are undeniably at fault. For them, it was a disaster out of nowhere. "You students, are you out of your minds? It's a red light. Why are you running it?" A whole group of students running the red light together. "You're really causing trouble." "Yeah, what's wrong with you guys? In a rush to get yourselves killed." The less injured students, supporting each other, stood nearby, completely speechless in the face of the reprimand. Pointing timidly at Yang Tian, "It was the vice class monitor who led us to run the red light." Several car owners immediately surrounded Yang Tian. Yang Tiantian's mind was buzzing at that moment. She wanted to defend herself but felt somewhat powerless. Yang Tiantian's few classmates and fans quickly jumped out to stand in front of her. Li Xian led the counterattack, shouting, "Are you blind? There are people on the sidewalk and you still ram into them. I think you're the ones rushing to your own funerals." A middle-aged male driver furrowed his brow and stepped closer. "What the hell? When we crossed, the light was green." "You get it." Li Xian didn't back down. "We're college entrance exam takers. Today, we're the most important. You even tried to hit us with your car. You're looking at serious jail time. Let me tell you, we are all the bravest little sheep, and we're not afraid of you." With these words, Li Xian raised her hand and slapped the middle-aged male car owner hard across the face. The crowd was stunned by the scene, and the girl raised her face smugly. The middle-aged car owner's eyes instantly turned Cold, and he kicked Li Xian to the ground. What a bunch of lunatics, what a bummer. By this time, the traffic police and the homeroom teacher had both arrived. The homeroom teacher looked at the students and suddenly felt tears welling up in their eyes. Everyone had been fine when they set out in the morning, but now they were lying sprawled on the ground, all battered and bruised. She immediately calmed everyone down and told the students who weren't seriously injured to hurry to the exam hall. The traffic police officer took statements and photos one by one. Li Xian grabbed the officer's arm, claiming the middle-aged man had hit her, but all the bystanders stepped forward and said that she had hit the man first. At best, this kind of situation counts as a mutual fight. Li Xian had no choice but was eventually also sent to the exam hall by the homeroom teacher. Nearly 10 minutes had already passed since the exam began. If she were any later, she might not be allowed into the exam hall. Yang Tian, along with a few other classmates, was placed on stretchers, clutching her exam pouch, visibly emotional. Let me take the exam, I need to go to the examination hall, this little difficulty won't defeat me, we must be the bravest little sheep. As they spoke, several classmates lying on stretchers excitedly spoke up, let us take the exam, we want to be the bravest little sheep. An awkward silence fell over the scene. Several people were still carried to the hospital for emergency treatment. 15 minutes into the exam, hurried footsteps stopped at the door. I looked up and saw two classmates from our class who had just arrived. They had bruises on their heads and their wrists were covered in contusions. This is the brave little lamb they want to be. I withdrew my gaze and continued to fill out the exam paper seriously. In my previous life, after the college entrance exam, I checked my answers and had a deep impression of the incorrect questions. This time, I filled in all the correct answers. After the first exam was over, the homeroom teacher was already anxiously waiting at the door as we came out. The homeroom teacher immediately walked over and said, there was a major traffic accident this morning, so we'll gather together and go back to the school as a group. I'll lead the way. Everyone's morale was somewhat low, after all, having been frightened that morning and nearly being unable to get into the exam venue. Each and every one of them had gloomy expressions. Zhao Rui also had his head lowered, a far cry from the time he had stepped forward earlier to call me a coward. Just as everyone had gathered and was about to head back, Li Xian suddenly stepped forward and blocked Zhao Rui's path. Hold on, Zhao Rui, where did you go this morning? Why did you disappear after we got into trouble? As soon as the words were spoken, everyone's eyes turned to Zhao Rui. A flurry of discussion broke out. Right, weren't you the one leading the team together with Yang Tian, you were on the other side saying it was fine, that's why we charged over. Zhao Rui let out a cold snort. The homeroom teacher didn't ask me to lead the team, so what does it have to do with me? Leading the team isn't the sports monitor's job anyway. Besides, you were the ones who ran the red light. If you get hit, how is that my fault? If I told you to go die, would you go and die too? Li Xian was left speechless, her chest heaving violently. Zhao Rui, you, seeing this. The homeroom teacher immediately stepped in, his voice full of anger. Enough, stop arguing. Don't you think what happened this morning was big enough? Everyone go back for now, there's another exam in the afternoon, do well on the ones to come. Everyone tried to calm themselves and walked back together under the homeroom teacher's guidance. Everyone did very well on the subsequent exams. Yang Tian and several classmates were all fine, but the college entrance exam was already over. After the final test, we had to go back to the classroom for one last homeroom meeting, where the teacher explained how to fill out college applications and when to return to school to pick up our files. Just as the meeting ended, Yang Tian limped in. She stood in front of Zhao Rui, holding up her phone, her voice choked with grievance. Zhao Rui, you told us it would be fine on the day of the exam, so we ran the red light. In the end, everyone got hurt because of it. Zhao Rui shot up from his stool, his brows furrowed tightly. Yang Tian, what does this have to do with me? You're the one who wanted everyone to be the bravest little sheep. If anyone's to blame, it should be Jiang Yusen. He was supposed to be leading the team, not me. As he spoke, Zhao Rui's eyes fell on me. Everyone's gaze also turned to me. He was clearly trying to drag me into this. I packed my things and said, it's got nothing to do with me. I had a stomachache and went to buy medicine. I wasn't even there. Yang Tian turned her head, her expression unreadable. Jiang Yusen, as the class monitor, why didn't you stop everyone? You're usually the one who follows traffic rules the most. You clearly knew we shouldn't have run the red light. Zhao Rui immediately and self-righteously joined in blaming me. Yeah, Jiang Yusen, why didn't you stop us? If you ask me, this is all on you. You need to apologize to everyone and pay compensation. Watching the two of them play off each other, I was so exasperated I could almost laugh. How was I supposed to know you were going to run the red light? Did you ever tell me? As soon as the words were spoken, everyone was stunned. In this life, when they said they would run the red light together and be the bravest little lambs, I wasn't even there. The class monitor really isn't here. Yeah, if only the monitor were on the scene, he would have definitely stopped everyone. The monitor is so steady. If he were leading the team, these things definitely wouldn't have happened. Geez, why did they let Yang Tian lead the team anyway? In this life, according to their words, I've suddenly become that steady and reliable class monitor again. I couldn't help but sneer inwardly. In the previous life, Yang Tian became famous for live streaming brave little lamb running a red light on the day of the college entrance exam. After I stopped her, she didn't manage to become a hit. She thinks it's my fault that she missed her chance to become a major internet celebrity. During the live stream, she tearfully claimed that when I reached out to pull her, I secretly groped her several times. She also said I affected her mindset, causing her to drop from National Tsinghua University to a vocational college. Netizens who didn't know the truth actually believed her. I get cyberbullied every day. I asked my classmates to help clarify things for me, but they were afraid of being doxxed by Yang Tiantian's fans. So they falsely claimed that I had a bad character. They said they saw with their own eyes that I took the opportunity to grope Yang Tian. This further confirmed the fact that I have poor character and wandering hands, leading to my home being splashed with paint, being followed outside and having rotten eggs thrown at me. I thought I'd be safe hiding at home, so I didn't go out for a long time, but on the night I received my acceptance letter from National Tsinghua University, I was stabbed to death by a fake delivery man. My eagerly awaited college life hadn't even begun, and I died painfully in my own home. Thinking of this, I let out a long sigh and held back the anger inside me. A look of guilt appeared on my face as I forced out a few tears. I'm truly sorry. If only I hadn't had a stomachache. Should have protected you. If I could, I would have taken all of this upon myself for you. As I spoke, I was already crying uncontrollably. Acting. Who can't do that? Seeing this, everyone immediately began comforting me with a flurry of words. Monitor, it's not your fault you have a stomachache. Monitor, this has nothing to do with you. You don't need to blame yourself. Monitor, you're just too kind. Yang Tian was left speechless. Seeing that everyone was on my side, she cleared her throat and spoke impudently. Can you shirk your responsibility just because you have a stomachache? You are the class monitor. The team should have been led by you in the first place. Before I could say anything, many people in the class stood up. Yang Tian, the class monitor wasn't even there. Are you trying to shift the blame onto him now? Have you no shame? Yeah, what does this have to do with the class monitor? Everyone saw with their own eyes that you volunteered to lead the team, and you were the one who was going to lead everyone through the red light. If a traffic accident happens, it's on you and Zhao Rui. Zhao Rui immediately spoke up in a panic. It's nothing to do with me. Yang Tian was the one who led you on, and it was Yang Tian who was responsible for leading the team to the college entrance examination venue. After saying that, Zhao Rui immediately packed up and left the classroom. Yang Tian was still holding up the phone for the live stream. She had no idea that the live stream chat had already exploded. What the heck? Does this blogger have a problem, running a red light with classmates, and now trying to blame the class monitor? Going on and on about, brave little lamb, is she really a top student? Are those grades she posted before even real? This person is so weird. Yang Tian likes to present herself as a top student online, often photoshopping her grades before posting them. She also streams herself studying late into the night, among other things, and because she's good-looking, netizens actually believe she's a beautiful, academic overachiever. The class is caught up in heated debates. A group of people stood up and surrounded Yang Tian, beginning to denounce her. If it weren't for you encouraging everyone to be brave little sheep and film your video, how would we have ended up running the red light? It's all because of you that no one performed well. Can you afford to take responsibility for all this? Seeing that she couldn't shift the blame, Yang Tian glared fiercely at everyone and sneered. Your legs are on your own bodies, and you're the ones who ran the red light. Am I your parent? Why would you listen to me so obediently? If you want to blame someone, blame yourselves for being so stupid. As soon as she finished speaking, everyone's faces flushed with anger. I was already in a bad state of mind and didn't perform well because of a traffic accident on the way to the exam. Now Yang Tian is still acting as if it has nothing to do with her. Someone, I don't know who, rushed up first and kicked Yang Tian. Then the people behind rushed forward all at once. Fists and feet rained down on Yang Tian as she curled up on the ground, crying out in pain and begging for mercy, but no one stopped. I packed my things and glanced at the class, which had descended into chaos. In my previous life, I patiently tried to dissuade them, only to secure their smooth college entrance exams and bright futures, yet no one understood me or was willing to speak a word on my behalf. Instead, they sided with Yang Tian and falsely accused me. This led to me being stabbed to death, and I didn't even get into Tsinghua University. Now, this is simply what they deserve. I sneered inwardly, turned and left the classroom. The setting sun outside is just right, casting its warmth on me as I let out a long sigh. My heart feels an unprecedented sense of relief. Summer vacation had officially begun, and I spent my days playing games, sleeping in, and living a wonderfully carefree life. Soon, the day arrived when the college entrance exam scores were released. I skillfully entered my admission ticket number and name, but my scores did not show up. My scores were blocked. There was a small line of text below: your ranking has entered the top 50 in the province. In this life, my scores are even better than in the previous one, so I can choose the major I truly want. Thinking of this, a gentle smile curled on my lips. The class group chat gradually became lively, with everyone sharing their scores. I glanced over and noticed that each person had scored several dozen points lower than in their previous life, but they were still doing much better than those who had missed the exam. In the evening, just as I opened a certain short video app, Yang Tiantian's live stream popped up. It was trending high. She was streaming in front of the camera with reddened eyes. Everyone, the accident on the day of the college entrance exam really wasn't my fault. I thought the roads would be cleared for the exam, woo-woo, and the sports monitor ran the red light first. He said it was fine. That's why we all rushed across together. Who would have known that something like this would happen? Now I can't even take the college entrance exam. As she spoke, Yang Tian cried even harder. I was supposed to be guaranteed admission to Tsinghua University at the very least. I never expected that one sentence from Zhao Rui would ruin my future. I hope my dear online friends can help me and restore justice. In my previous life, on the night of the college entrance exam results, she was also crying in front of the camera, but she wasn't crying about Zhao Rui. She was crying about me. I didn't want to say anything, but I'm really suffering right now. On the day of the college entrance exam, Jiang Yusen, the male class monitor of our class, took the chance to save me at the intersection and groped me several times. Not only did he touch me, he also pinched my buttock hard several times. That completely broke me mentally, and I went from being on track for Tsinghua University to ending up at a community college. I thought I could just let this go, but seeing that vile person get into Tsinghua with a high score while I have to live in the shadow of this for the rest of my life, I'm really in so much pain. As she spoke, she deliberately panned the camera toward the medicine bottles on the table. All of them were antidepressants. Seeing this, her brainless fans were heartbroken. Don't be afraid, baby. We're always here for you. We will not let such a beast go unpunished, baby. Just tell us his address. My efforts to clarify things below were met only with endless abusive private messages and online bullying. I asked for help in the class group, hoping someone would speak up for me. As a result, many accounts claiming to be my classmates suddenly appeared in the comments section, saying that I had long coveted the school beauty and that my character was lacking. Looking at the classmates I had usually helped, I felt a pang of bitterness in my heart. Thinking of this, my heart trembled. Yang Tiantian's voice continued, guys, I'm now severely depressed. I really feel like I can't hold on much longer. Having said that, she swept the camera across a pile of medication on the table, but this time, netizens weren't buying it, because everyone had seen the video of her running a red light with her classmates on the day of the college entrance exam. She even said they should all be the bravest little sheep together. Blogger, weren't you the one leading the team to run the red light? Why are you blaming others? With your IQ, can you really get into Tsinghua? Suddenly, someone in the comments section leaked Yang Tiantian's entire transcript. Throughout the 3 years of high school, she ranked in the bottom 3 after every exam. I clicked on the profile picture, and it was Zhao Rui's. Yang Tian saw that the comments section was getting out of control, so she quickly ended the live stream. In this life, without harassment from extreme netizens, my vacation life was very peaceful. I traveled, went swimming, and played ball with my friends. A few days later, the class group chat suddenly became lively. I opened the chat. I only saw a bloody image, in which Zhao Rui was lying on the ground. My heart tightened. Had an extreme netizen found him this time, but the tide in Yang Tiantian's comments section had long since turned, so why would anyone still want to kill Zhao Rui? Just as I was wondering, the most gossipy boy in the class suddenly spoke up. Yang Tian has gone crazy, she stabbed Zhao Rui. Behind that were dozens of stacked messages. Why, this doesn't have much to do with Zhao Rui, does it? Yeah, what's really going on? The guy said. My uncle is in charge of handling this matter. He said the liability for the day of the accident has been determined, and Yang Tian will bear 90%. There were many luxury cars involved, and even if her family sold their house, they still couldn't afford the compensation. Some time ago, after Yang Tiantian's parents learned the compensation amount, they beat her within an inch of her life in public. In my previous life, I was cyberbullied and forced out of the class group chat, so I never knew about the compensation details. I don't know what happened to Yang Tian afterward. I withdrew my thoughts and looked at the messages in the class group. Other classmates continued asking in the group, so, she wanted to drag Zhao Rui into sharing the responsibility. Boy, probably. Zhao Rui's family seems quite wealthy, but he's not foolish either. New messages kept popping up in the group chat. Everyone was talking animatedly about Yang Tian and Zhao Rui, calling the two of them out of their minds. Many people have also told me how lucky I was that I wasn't leading the team that day, otherwise who knows how badly Yang Tian would have ruined me. I turned off my phone, my heart no longer able to stir any waves. I turned my head to look out the window. The sun was blazing, cicadas were chirping, and there was still plenty of good time ahead waiting for me. The day the acceptance letter from Tsinghua University arrived, someone in the class group chat reported Yang Tiantian's current situation again, saying she had been sentenced to life imprisonment. Now, she has finally become the bravest little sheep, just as she wished. As for me, I let go and respected their destinies, and finally ushered in the college life I had hoped for. 1 month later, I stood at the gate of Tsinghua University, pulling my suitcase along, looking at the beautiful and tidy campus, seeing the youthful, smiling faces all around. I felt a lump in my throat and couldn't help but tear up. I have finally realized my dream of entering Tsinghua University, and now I'm striding forward toward my goals. This time, I will cherish every single day here even more. Let there be no regrets in my life. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see female supporting character. Whatever you do, don't drink the mushroom soup. If you drink it, you'll go crazy, fall into the river, get sick, be hospitalized for 7 days, and perfectly miss the college entrance exam. Just as I was about to take the hangover soup from my twin sister's hands, a barrage of subtitles suddenly appeared before my eyes. Seeing the mushroom soup, I was slightly taken aback, although I didn't fully believe it. My hand involuntarily withdrew. Today, a few of us classmates were having a meal together. Zhou Xian kept insisting we have a little alcohol, not wanting to spoil the mood. Everyone drank a little. After all, the college entrance exam is the day after tomorrow, so no one got drunk. Yet, my sister enthusiastically helped me prepare hangover soup. Our neighborhood is by the river. If I were to hallucinate and go crazy, there's a high chance I'd leave the neighborhood and fall into the river. Nian. What's wrong? Sister Zhou Xian tested the temperature and said calmly. It's just right, drink it while it's hot. I'm going to the bathroom, just put it on the table for now. Zhou Xian was a bit impatient but still managed to smile and say, then hurry up, I'll wait for you. I went to the bathroom, closed the toilet lid, and sat on it, staring blankly at the wall. The barrage of comments appeared before my eyes once again. Hey, what's wrong with the supporting female character? She hasn't even had the mushroom soup yet, so why does she look like she's been poisoned? The supporting female character is really pitiful. After drinking the mushroom soup, she started hallucinating, ran out of the neighborhood, jumped into the river, and kept saying she wanted to dig in the water to find a mermaid, laughing all the while. Because she was hospitalized and missed the college entrance exam, she didn't even get a chance to retake it. She ended up working in a factory and died because she had the same face as the female lead. How tragic. Although I was shocked inside, my eyes remained vacant. I sat on the toilet for half an hour, learning some facts I hadn't known before. We hadn't planned to drink at our gathering today. It was my sister who deliberately made us drink. My sister claimed that she had suffered a head injury as a child, which often left her confused and prone to making mistakes. All excuses she used to frame me. She doesn't want me to take away the love of our parents and classmates. Our parents run a small factory, and when they're busy, they also let us handle some simple tasks. When it came to buying tickets for a business trip, Zhou Xian deliberately bought tickets to the wrong country. It wasn't until our parents arrived at the airport to pick up the tickets that they realized the mistake. She said she was afraid Dad would think she was foolish, so she made me take the blame. When it was time to pay the factory's electricity bill, she volunteered to help my dad, but in the end, she didn't pay it all. The machines in the factory suddenly lost power, and the machine molds and the products inside them stuck together, turning everything into scrap. The factory lost millions. Zhou Xian said she had already given me the money and that I had forgotten to pay the bill. I had inexplicably received a transfer from her, but I never thought it was for the electricity bill. I assumed she was just storing money with me, as she often said she was forgetful and asked me to hold on to her money. She explained to me that it was a moment of confusion, that she had misremembered, and she was afraid our parents would scold her, so she asked me to forgive her. Her eyes were swollen from crying, and I couldn't bear it, so I took the blame. It turned out she had deliberately schemed all along. From then on, my parents held a great deal of resentment toward me. To be precise, they never smiled at me again. At school, she often helped collect classmates' homework, frequently losing or misplacing people's papers and assignments. When something went wrong, she would tell others that her mind was fuzzy and she couldn't remember whether she had collected them, suggesting that maybe I had taken the homework. We look alike and dress alike. Seeing her innocence, the classmates all thought it was my doing. She often ordered milk tea for classmates in my name, but would always order a few cups short. As a result, the classmates held varying degrees of resentment toward me, thinking I deliberately ordered less to embarrass them. She even broke the school's fire hose and claimed I did it. I used to think she was just confused in the head, but now I realize her mind was never affected by the accident. All these years, she's been pretending to be pitiful, cute, and innocent, making everyone despise me. To say I'm not angry would be a lie. Thinking about how my parents and classmates now all have issues with me and dislike me, I feel completely drained and slumped down on the toilet seat. Wait, what's going on with the supporting female character? Could it be that even the air from the mushrooms is toxic? She's looking more and more like she's been poisoned. The bullet comments kept scrolling. Nian Nian, what's wrong? Zhou Xian entered the bathroom, still holding the mushroom soup in her hands. I was afraid it would get cold, so I kept it warm. Are you okay? You've been in the bathroom for almost an hour. I stepped out of the bathroom and smiled gently. Sister, you've been drinking too. You should have this soup. I'll go make some more. It wouldn't be right for me to drink it all by myself. Zhou Xian gave an awkward smile. Look at how scatterbrained I am. I forgot to make some for myself. I've always been a bit of a mess. You go ahead and drink it first, and I'll go make some more. No, if our parents come back and find I drank alone, they'll scold me for not taking good care of my sister. Ignoring her insistence, I went to the kitchen and casually closed the door. Sister, wait on the sofa for a moment, I'll have it ready soon. How about I make you some apple hangover soup? Zhou Xian smiled innocently. Thank you, Nian Nian, I'll wait for you in the living room. I took out 2 apples, cut them into pieces, and put them into the pot. Seeing that I was indeed making apple water, Zhou Xian stopped watching and started scrolling through her phone on the sofa. It was then that I saw the leftover mushrooms in the trash can, along with the ones that had been boiled. I put on gloves, casually picked up a few, rinsed them clean, and tossed them into the pot. Ah, what's wrong with the female supporting character? Why is she making mushroom soup for the female lead? Ah, the female supporting character is so mean. My sweetie, woo 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 woo, the person upstairs is bothering me. Can the female lead make mushroom soup for the female supporting character? But the female supporting character can't do the same for the female lead. The supporting female character was originally just a tool for the sweetie. So what's the big deal if she drinks some mushroom soup? It's not like it'll kill her. After all, she's destined to be cannon fodder no matter what. Wait, this plot wasn't in the original story. If the female lead drinks the soup and goes crazy, how will she meet the male lead later and achieve their sweet romance? Did the author have a sudden pang of conscience and secretly change this part in the middle of the night? Supporting female character. Stop right there. Your existence is meant to pave the way for the female lead, and even your death is for her sake. Don't you think the female lead is a bit too much? What's too much? Is she wrong for wanting things for herself? She just doesn't like having her love taken away. What's wrong with that? Yeah, Sweetie is just doing what the author set up. If there's any fault, it's the author's, not Sweetie's. I silently watched the barrage of comments before me, my hands never stopping their movements. 5 minutes later, I brought the mushroom soup with only apples to the living room. Sister, I accidentally added too much honey just now, so it might be sweeter than usual. To mask the possible taste of the mushrooms, I added a lot of honey. Zhou Xian was delighted to see me offering her the hangover soup I had prepared. She quickly swapped the hangover soup in her hand with mine and, to encourage me to drink it faster, took a sip of the mushroom soup I had made. Sister, mine is a bit cold, I'll go heat it up. Without waiting for a response, I took the mushroom soup back to the kitchen, poured it into a pot, and pretended to heat it up. Zhou Xian felt her plan was foolproof, and since the soup in her hand was very sweet, she quickly finished it. I took advantage of the moment she lowered her head, poured out the mushroom soup from the pot, and brought a bowl of honey water to the living room, that was prepared earlier when I made honey water for Zhou Xian. Under her intense gaze, I drank the honey water. Is it good? She asked me considerately. Not bad. I casually went to the kitchen to wash the pots and bowls, then returned to my room under her enthusiastic gaze. I had heard a lot about mushroom poisoning before. It doesn't happen that quickly, so I didn't need to put on any act. At 9 o'clock in the evening, I heard a commotion. Zhou Xian came dancing out of the room, shouting, I'm going to ascend, finally. My thunder tribulation has arrived, ha ha ha. From now on, I'll be a celestial being in the heavens. I watched as she ran out of the house. I could no longer doubt the authenticity of the bullet comments. The female lead is about to jump into the river. Why isn't the supporting female character stopping her? So Sweetie wants to ascend to immortality. Too much fantasy reading is harmful. Sweetie's reaction is even more terrifying than the supporting female characters. It seems this river must be jumped. My sweetie. So pitiful. When did the author change the plot? I want to send a knife. The supporting female character is so malicious, watching her sister go out without stopping her. That's strange. The supporting female character didn't stop the female lead from jumping into the river either. Indeed, the female lead drank the mushrooms she prepared herself, which is considered self-inflicted and can't be blamed on others. If she hadn't intended to harm the supporting female character, this wouldn't have happened. The supporting female character has the same face as Sweetie and even wants to share the love of Sweetie's parents and classmates. It's only because of Sweetie's kindness that she wasn't killed. The two sides in the bullet comments were arguing fiercely. I called my parents, and they returned quickly, but they still didn't make it back to the neighborhood before Zhou Xian jumped into the river. When Zhou Xian was rescued, she was still unconscious, muttering about overcoming the thunder tribulation, ascending, and becoming an immortal. When she arrived at the hospital, she was still bouncing around, trying to resist the thunder tribulation, and even demonstrated some strange techniques to prevent the needle in her hand from injuring her. The nurse had to tie her to the bed, where she kept struggling non-stop. At 10:30 p.m., I returned home. With the college entrance exam in 2 days, I needed to ensure I got enough rest. I couldn't afford to mess it up. My parents, who had always doted on her, didn't follow me home. The next time I saw the three of them was on the 7th day of Zhou Xian's hospital stay. The day after the college entrance exam, Zhou Xian had been under observation and treatment in the hospital for a week, completely missing the college entrance exam. My parents returned home with dark expressions. Nian, we heard it was you who made the hangover soup for Xian. Did you do it on purpose to harm her? Her mind isn't sharp to begin with, and you still had to hurt her like this. What kind of malicious sister are you? I widened my eyes. I just made some apple honey water. What are you talking about? Didn't sister's head injury from before just flare up again? Zhou Xian had pretended to be crazy like this before. The doctor said she ate mushrooms and damaged her liver. Why did you make mushroom soup for your sister? You're so malicious, my mother said, trying to hit me without even asking for an explanation. If you don't believe me, you can check the surveillance footage in the living room and kitchen. The trash can was in a blind spot of the surveillance, so the scene of picking up the mushrooms couldn't be seen. When washing the mushrooms, I deliberately made it look like I was washing gloves, so nothing seemed off. When I threw the mushrooms in, I blocked the camera with my body, making it appear as though I was just checking how the soup was cooking. My parents and Zhou Xian didn't expect me to be so calm. In the past, whenever Zhou Xian got hurt, regardless of whether it was my fault, I would take full responsibility. I thought Zhou Xian was not very bright and had low self-esteem, and I could accept that my parents treated her better out of pity. We are all one family, just as parents always tend to favor the weaker child, expecting the stronger one to support the weaker one. They believe the stronger child can take care of themselves, while the weaker one needs their love more. I've seen many such examples before, and I used to comfort myself with this kind of thinking. Now I realize that my parents are becoming increasingly biased towards Zhou Xian. The more they invest in her, the more they value her, and I have become a dispensable child to them. At this thought, a dull ache spread through my heart. Upon hearing that the surveillance footage would be checked, Zhou Xian panicked. I had already reviewed the footage, and she hadn't avoided the cameras when preparing the mushrooms for me. Perhaps she never imagined things would escalate to this point. Mom, Dad, there's no need to check the surveillance footage. My sister only acted this way because she felt you were favoring me too much. I understand her dissatisfaction. If you show her more love in the future, she won't give me mushroom soup again. Hearing this, my mother hugged Zhou Xian heartbrokenly. My Xian, why is your fate so bitter? The supporting female character is really quite scheming. I just realized that she deliberately avoided the camera when she was cooking the soup earlier. Isn't the female lead's words also quite manipulative? The parents are almost completely fooled by the female lead. Is it wrong for a daughter to just worry about her parents' love being divided, to just want their wholehearted affection? The supporting female character is so pitiful. Her parents no longer believe her at all. It would be clear just by checking the surveillance footage that the female lead brought this upon herself. At that moment, the doorbell rang. Dad went to open the door, and there stood my boyfriend, holding a box of nutritional supplements. Hello, Uncle. He greeted my father with a smile. My heart leaped with joy, and just as I was about to stand up, I saw the barrage of comments. He really loves her so much. As soon as he found out his daughter wasn't at the hospital, he came straight to the house to see her. In order to make Sweetie the top performer, he endured the disgust of pursuing the supporting female character, hoping she would become so infatuated with love that she wouldn't strive to improve. He and Sweetie shared a deep, affectionate gaze. It's truly heartwarming, but alas, he's just the devoted second male lead, no match for the one who appears out of nowhere. I felt completely drained, curled up on the sofa, not wanting to move a muscle. After watching Ji Yuan and Zhou Xian exchange flirtatious glances, he walked straight over to me. Nian, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? I brought you some tonics. Make sure to take good care of yourself. He really cares so much. Everything he brought is meant to help the daughter replenish her health. Such a good thing. A supporting character like me, a mere tool, doesn't deserve to use it. I lifted my eyelids slightly and indeed saw that what Ji Yuan was holding wasn't nutritional supplements but things Zhou Xian liked. In the past, I thought he was just a bit rough around the edges as a guy, which was understandable. Now it seems he's actually quite thoughtful. Since you're here, there's no need to bring anything. My mom set the things on the floor, asked Ji Yuan to sit down, and even made him a cup of tea. We left the hospital in a hurry today and forgot to notify you, so you made a wasted trip. Just consider it as exercise. These past few days, we've really relied on you. Otherwise, her father and I wouldn't have been able to rest well at night. They get along so well. Why not give the second male lead a chance to rise? He's too pitiful, requesting for the second male lead to rise. He's also an heir of the Ji family, and he gave it up for the female lead. He truly loves her deeply. A barrage of comments defending Ji Yuan kept scrolling non-stop. I closed my eyes, not wanting to see any more, but with my eyes shut, those comments became even clearer. One comment caught my attention. Am I the only one who thinks the supporting female character is the most pitiful? She treated everyone sincerely but ended up with nothing. Yes, clearly I was the most innocent and pitiful one, all because I was a tool, a stepping stone for the so-called female lead. No one can make me a stepping stone. My life is my own to decide. If you start it, don't blame me for finishing it. Ji Yuan helped my mother make lunch, and then we had lunch together before he reluctantly left. When he left, he glanced at Zhou Xian 8 times, not once looking at me. I confirmed once again that the comments in the bullet chat are real. Every day after that, as long as my parents were at home, the sound of Zhou Xian's crying could be heard. The reason was simply that she was already confused in the head, and repeating another year of school would ruin her life. At first, I pretended to offer a few words of comfort, but as my parents' attitude toward me grew increasingly cold, I couldn't be bothered to keep trying to please them. Whenever I had the chance, I would leave the house. It didn't matter where I went. What mattered was getting away from that home, which was filled with nothing but crying and resentful glares. It was suffocating. My parents still believe it's because I'm malicious and harmed my own sister. They never intended to check the surveillance footage. I really want to know what their reaction would be if they saw the footage and discovered that their most beloved daughter was trying to harm someone. But no matter how much I tried to explain, they refused to look, convinced that I was the one in the wrong. Even so, the home surveillance system was damaged due to my sister's confusion. The hard drive that stored the previous files was also broken, and even the password for the online account that stored the surveillance footage was lost. It was all just a coincidence, but my parents completely believed it was because my sister's head injury had caused her to act confused. I never thought about it before, but recently a concept suddenly popped into my head. My sister didn't just hit her head and get hurt, she hit it so hard she developed a mental illness, but none of that matters now. Once I get into university, I can leave this suffocating place. From then on, the mountains are high and the birds are free to fly. As long as I break away from these people, I believe I can still escape the fate of being a cannon fodder tool. The college entrance exam results are finally out. That day, Ji Yuan came to my house early in the morning, eager to know my results. And the light in his eyes was impossible to hide, just as I was wondering why he, not being my sister's loyal lapdog, would come on such a day that would make my sister sad. Just saw the bullet comments, he really loves her so much, for the sake of Sweetie's happiness, he's here again, want the female lead to attend school in place of the female supporting character. If the female supporting character's exam results are good, the gentle affection of the devoted second male lead is reserved only for Sweetie. With such a second male lead, Sweetie is saved. Suddenly, I lost the desire to check my scores. Without a doubt, my results should be quite good. Ji Yuan told me his score. Nian Nian, what's yours? Let's go to the same university. Okay, I can take care of you from now on. We can choose the same major, work at the same company after graduation, and I'll always look after you. Okay. If it were before, I might have believed him. His gaze was so sincere, his face so full of excitement, as if he had already imagined our beautiful future many times over. The second male lead really has already thought about his future life with Sweetie. The supporting female character must be strong and not hold back the second male lead. He loves me so much that I want him to succeed in taking the throne. Looking forward to the supporting female character's score. Must ensure that Sweetie gets into a good university, so she can meet the male lead. Don't worry, the female lead is bound to meet the male lead. This is an unchangeable outcome. What a pity for the supporting female character. Get out of here, you. When you use scissors to cut flowers, do you feel sorry for the notch in the scissors? You only feel sorry for the flowers being ruined. Exactly, we're here to watch the female lead's comeback, not the supporting female character. The supporting female character should exit the stage sooner. I was worried about my sister during the exam and couldn't focus, so I probably did very poorly. I'd rather not look. I refused Ji Yuan's request. Ji Yuan's expression immediately changed. You did poorly. I lowered my head in shame and frustration. I might need to repeat the year. Zhou Xian, who had been watching the commotion from the side, dropped her phone without even noticing. Sister, you did poorly. With your grades, getting into a 985 university shouldn't be a problem, right? I shook my head, feigning sorrow. I also drank the mushroom soup earlier. Even though my sister cooked it thoroughly, during the exam, I still experienced hallucinations. The words on the test paper were jumping around everywhere, and I spent the entire exam trying to catch them. As for whether I answered any questions, I have no recollection at all. Anyway, they couldn't possibly obtain the surveillance footage from the exam hall, so I could say whatever I wanted, and they wouldn't be able to verify it. This supporting female character is too useless. Did she really hallucinate during the exam? The camera was all on Sweetie, and there was no footage of the supporting female character during the exam. This supporting female character is too useless. With this, Sweetie will have to wait a whole year to meet the male lead. Woo woo woo, I'm crying to death. Zhou Xian's face turned extremely ugly. The phone on the floor rang, and only then did she notice the phone that had fallen to the ground. It was a call from my dad. The living room was relatively quiet, and I could clearly hear their conversation. Xian, has your sister's exam results come out yet? No, hurry up and have her check. Let us know when you get the results, and then we'll see which school to apply to. We need to buy school supplies and clothes for you, and if you're going up north, we'll need to get you some warm clothes too. The parents are going to be heartbroken. The supporting female character didn't get in at all. It feels like the parents are so biased. It was clearly the supporting female character who took the exam, but they're letting the older sister go to school instead. Anyway, the female supporting character is just a cannon fodder in life. What's wrong with repeating a year? The female lead is about to miss the male lead. Yeah, the female supporting character is just studying for one more year. After all, studying isn't tiring. Exactly. Her parents are supporting her, letting her study for one more year, and it's for her sister's sake. What's the problem? One shouldn't be so selfish. Zhou Xian hung up the phone and chose to send a message. I immediately received a call from my father. Hello, Dad, Nian Nian, I heard you didn't do well on the exam. Yes, the soup my sister gave me before was also mushroom soup. I don't know how I did on the exam, I only saw the words turn into little figures, and I was trying to catch them. Beep, 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 the call was hung up. My heart ached terribly. When did I become an accessory to my sister? When did my existence become merely a stepping stone to enhance her life? If it weren't for the bullet comments, I would have remained oblivious to everything. I treated them as family, but they only saw me as a tool, hardly even as a person. My heart suddenly ached so much I couldn't breathe. I covered my chest and lowered my head, forcing myself not to shed a single tear. Nian Nian, what's wrong? Check your score. What if you did well? There was someone before who drank mushroom soup and got a perfect score. People say it's the exam mushroom. Maybe you're the same. Ji Yuan only cared about the score, completely ignoring my pale face, suppressing the pain in my heart. I looked up to meet Ji Yuan's anxious gaze. Seeing my pale face, his smile froze on his lips. Are you okay? Don't say things like eating mushrooms will help you do well on exams anymore. It's misleading. I straightened up and leaned back against the sofa. Let's not check the results after all. Just prepare to retake the exams, and I can do it together with my sister. Seeing that I didn't agree, Ji Yuan didn't leave. After lunch, I went back to my room for a nap, but he still stayed behind, chatting with Zhou Xian in the living room. I wasn't interested in their conversation, so I drifted off to sleep. In a daze, I felt someone lifting my feet. I was about to keep sleeping when something suddenly occurred to me, and I opened my eyes. Ji Yuan was reading the verification code from my phone to Zhou Xian, 9817. Zhou Xian typed it into the laptop she was holding. It's out. Ji Yuan placed my phone back at my feet, and then the two of them leaned their heads together, lying on the bed. I watched numbly as their eyes gradually widened. How is that possible? The exaggerated expression didn't seem like joy, but more like shock, disappointment, and sorrow. Logically, my grades weren't bad, so why did these two look as if I had scored just a few points? I lay on the bed without moving, quietly waiting for the two of them to leave my room dejectedly. As they closed the door, I heard my sister mutter, useless, all my planning was for nothing. After the two of them left, I opened my notebook, entered the information and verification code, and saw my score. I finally understood why they were so excited. My score showed 0. It was impossible for me to score 0 unless I was a shielded candidate in the college entrance examination. The supporting female character is so useless, actually scoring 0. The barrage started cursing me for delaying the female lead's meeting with the male lead. After checking the score, I lay back on the bed, pretending to be heartbroken. You all feel sorry for the female lead, right? Then let you feel sorry enough. On the bed, I sighed one moment and covered my face to wipe away tears the next, looking exactly like a useless person who scored 0. Those people in the barrage cursed even more fiercely, wishing they could come in and take the exam for me. And some even wished they could come in and strangle this useless me, especially upon hearing Zhou Xian's crying in the living room. I used to feel sorry for her when she cried. But now I'm really fed up. Why does she love crying so much? It's as if the whole world owes her billions. I stood up and went out, only to see Ji Yuan comforting her with a pained expression. How about I join you in repeating the year, he said, then looked at me with nothing but coldness in his eyes. Sigh. I lowered my head and walked out of the house. I was truly blind back then. I actually believed him when he said he was good to me, his foolish little sister, because he loved the house and extended that love to the crow. If that were really the case, why would he still be at his girlfriend's house, accompanying her sister, even after the girlfriend had already left? Fortunately, I only agreed to be with him after the college entrance exams ended. He pursued me vigorously, but I was completely focused on my studies. We never even held hands, so his plan to make me a slacker through dating failed. It's a pity that back then, I studied hard thinking we would have a better future together. Just as I was sunbathing in the park, the ill-timed bullet comments appeared again. She really is the villainess, pretending to score 0, what a pity. The admissions office called, and top-tier universities like Qingda and Beida from across the country reached out, offering 4-year scholarships, P.S. Qingda and Beida are not typos, they are fictional university names in this story. The villainess has at least made some contribution for Sweetie. The male and female leads are about to meet at Qing University. I'm so looking forward to it. Cinderella and the prince fall in love at first sight. Qing University, then I'll just apply to Bei University. how great is Zhou Xian's man, if he can't even recognize a green tea girl, I don't want him. When I got home in the evening, my parents, who usually return at 10, were already home by 6 today. Mom and Ji Yuan were busy in the kitchen. While Zhou Xian was acting spoiled next to Dad, I suddenly walked in, and everyone glanced at me before continuing with what they were doing. Make sure to call home more often from now on, so Mom and Dad won't worry. Alright, I'll definitely video call Dad every day and not let Mom and Dad worry. Is this already about life after starting university? Dinner's ready. Nian Nian, you came back just in time. Auntie and I just finished cooking. You're in for a treat. Auntie came back this afternoon and spent several hours preparing it. The table was laden with dishes, all of Zhou Xian's favorites, or perhaps they weren't really Zhou Xian's favorites. I remember when we were little, our tastes were quite similar, and we liked the same things, but gradually, Zhou Xian's preferences changed, and the dishes on the family table slowly shifted to suit her tastes. Maybe she just craved that unique, exclusive affection. She didn't want anyone to be like her, didn't want me to take even a sliver of our parents' love. Even though I was also their child, her own younger sister. I didn't answer Ji Yuan's question. After washing my hands, I went straight to the table to eat. Everyone hasn't sat down yet. How can you start eating already? Mom tapped my chopsticks with hers. The force wasn't strong, but I could sense her displeasure. I'm hungry, and I really don't want to wait. Little sister didn't mean to start without everyone. Mom, don't be angry. Zhou Xian fed Mom a grape she had just peeled. Thank you, Mom, for all your hard work today. Xian is so sensible. Mom beamed with joy, sitting down next to Zhou Xian, while Ji Yuan took a seat on her other side. Both of them began adding food to Zhou Xian's bowl. Dad sat down quietly across from me. Nian Nian, if you didn't get in this year, you can just try again next year. There's no need to show a sour face to everyone. Dad's tone was calm, making it hard to tell whether he was scolding or caring. That's right, Nian Nian. Repeating a year is no big deal. Mom and Dad can support you. Mom chimed in as well. Nian Nian, I'll be waiting for you at Qing University. I'll get to know the campus first, so when you arrive, I can look out for you, Ji Yuan said, placing a piece of beef in my bowl. Don't drink mushroom soup anymore. Look, you drank it and ended up scoring 0. It's a good thing no one else knows your score, or everyone would be laughing at you. I hadn't expected that they wouldn't plan to tell me about my score. I thought they would try to appeal to my emotions and reason with me, asking me to give it up for Zhou Xian, as that's how it usually went in the past. Seriously, aren't they going to tell the supporting female character that she scored really high? Upstairs, whose side are you on? What if the female supporting character refuses to let the female lead go to school? This is the safest approach, so no one is embarrassed. Wouldn't it be nice if the female supporting character also lived happily? You can have that kind of happiness. Do you want the female supporting character to be with the male lead? How could the female supporting character possibly be worthy of the male lead? The supporting female character is quite foolish. She's never once suspected that her family only loves her sister all this time. Her own boyfriend is also her sister's devoted admirer, deceiving her wholeheartedly for her sister's sake. Are you all misunderstanding the logic? The second male lead never loved the supporting female character in the first place. He was only with her for the sake of the female lead. So, in the second male lead's heart, the supporting female character was never his girlfriend, just a stumbling block in the way of the one he truly loves. Why should the second male lead be loyal to the supporting female character? I smiled and responded to Ji Yuan. Alright, I'll work hard to get in next year. After I said that, I clearly heard everyone let out a sigh of relief. It turned out they were testing whether I had received a call from the admissions office, who said I wouldn't receive one. Maybe it just hasn't reached me yet. Sure enough, before I even finished lunch, I received a call from my homeroom teacher. Zhou Nian, you've scored the top spot this time. Both Qing University and Bei University have called me, asking me to persuade you. Which school do you prefer? I'll go ahead and respond to them first. Seeing it was the homeroom teacher's call, I deliberately pressed the speakerphone button. Teacher, are you mistaken? I feigned surprise. Not at all. You were just short of a perfect score. My phone has been ringing off the hook here. Should have filled in your number instead. Back then, to uniformly understand the students' exam situations, I reported my own and the students' parents' phone numbers, so that's how it is. But when I checked my score, it showed 0. Teacher, you might be mistaken. Your scores are high and have been shielded to prevent anyone with ulterior motives from finding out and affecting your lives. Journalists are now prohibited from coming to report But both schools have offered excellent conditions. Let me read them to you. Bay University, I said firmly. Teacher, I like Bay University, you can disregard the others. Alright, I was planning to call you this afternoon, but my phone has been ringing off the hook. The homeroom teacher happily hung up the phone. I picked up my spoon and continued drinking my soup. Everyone at the table stared at me motionlessly, but I paid no attention. I waited until I finished the soup in my bowl, and then my mother cleared her throat and said, Nyen Nyen, I think Qing University is a good choice. Qing University is all about research. In the future, you and your sister can do research together at Qing University. The cheerful atmosphere that had just filled the table vanished completely, and Zhou Xian's eyes were brimming with tears. Mom, my sister might not want to go to the same school as me. After all, she hasn't really liked me all these years. Your sisters, you should support each other. How can you be so selfish? My parents were singing in perfect harmony, completely unaware that all these years, there had never been any mutual support. It was always me giving unilaterally. Mom, Dad, the two schools are very close, less than a 10-minute drive. My sister and I can still support each other then, so you don't need to worry. My voice was devoid of any warmth, and even the fake smile was gone. It didn't take much thought to know that they still hadn't given up on the idea of having my sister take my place at school. Sister, a family that stands united won't be laughed at by outsiders. If we don't stick together now, we'll be mocked and bullied by others. Zhou Xian hypocritically reached out to take my hand, but I skillfully avoided it and turned back to my room. All the mockery in this life has come from Zhou Xian, and she actually has the nerve to say such things to me. The living room fell into silence, with only the sound of Ji Yuan clearing the dishes. Half an hour later, he knocked and entered. Nyen Nyen, you've been a bit different lately. You used to love your sister very much and even said you wanted to attend the same school as her. That was in the past, when I thought we were real sisters. Now that I know everything, continuing to act that way would be foolish. At that time, I thought my sister was going to Beta, and I had always wanted to go to Beta myself. Ever since I ate those poisonous mushrooms, my mind has been filled with strange things. What kind of things? Ji Yuan asked in surprise, leaning forward even more from where he stood at my door. Suddenly, these strange texts appeared before my eyes, like scrolling bullet comments, constantly running non-stop. It was so exhausting to watch. Upon hearing my words, the scrolling bullet comments suddenly stopped updating. Ji Yuan looked at me as if I were a monster. Nyen Nyen, maybe you should go to the hospital. Last time you didn't get treated. Could there still be lingering effects? Heh. The female supporting character said the bullet comments she saw aren't ours. Right, how is that possible? The comment above is hurting my eyes. Right, how could she possibly see them? She's just a paper-thin character in the story. If she can see our bullet comments, I'll stand on my head and eat shit. I'll be fine with a bit more rest. Aren't you going back? It's quite late now. I reminded Ji Yuan that he should head home. He glanced at the time. It is a bit late. Nyen Nyen, you should rest early. If you want to go anywhere to have fun, be sure to look for me. Ji Yuan finally left my home, albeit reluctantly. Before going to bed, when I went out to heat some milk, I overheard my parents' voices. Their door wasn't fully closed, and a sliver of light escaped from inside, casting onto the marble floor. Tomorrow we can fill out the college applications, right? Should we help her fill them out? It requires a verification code. Now it needs a verification code. Times have changed. My mom sounded a bit disappointed. Should we find a chance to get her phone tomorrow? Don't let her find out. How about taking them to the aquarium tomorrow? Nyen Nyen has been wanting to go for a long time. I had no interest in drinking milk. I had indeed been talking about the aquarium for a long time. But Zhou Xian always found various excuses to prevent our parents from going. Back in bed, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep, when I received a WeChat message from Ji Yuan. Nyen Nyen, haven't you always wanted to go to the underwater world? I'll take you there tomorrow. They really are a family, thinking of the same solution. Okay, I replied with a single word. Tickets to the underwater world cost over 900, and I've always been reluctant to spend that much. Since Ji Yuan is so affectionate, I might as well let him have his way. When I woke up in the morning, my usually busy mother had prepared breakfast and was waiting for me to get up. There are fried eggs, soup dumplings, congee, and walnut bread. The soup dumplings require getting up very early to prepare. The last time I made these was when Zhou Xian wanted to eat them. Nyen Nyen, you're up. She brought a glass of warm milk over to me. Drink it while it's hot. We're taking you to the underwater world today. Ji Yuan said he wants to take me to the underwater world. Mom and Dad, you two should rest. In a couple of days, Bay University will open for applications. We can go play together after we submit the applications. My mom's smile nearly faltered. Isn't today the day to fill out the application? Today and tomorrow are for the first batch of special talents like the military and police to fill out their applications. Mine falls under the regular category, so I have to wait for the second batch, which will be at least 2 days later. I see. Back in my day, the college entrance exam wasn't this complicated. Well, enjoy your breakfast, and your dad and I are off to work now. With that, she put away her smile, took off her apron, went to the master bedroom to call my dad, and the two of them headed off to work. I put the milk back on the table, staring blankly at the breakfast on the table. Zhou Xian walked out of the room. Nian Nian, Ji Yuan will be coming over later to take us to the underwater world. Get ready, we'll be leaving soon. Her attitude made it seem as if Zhou Xian were her boyfriend. Is my sister going too? I thought it was just going to be me and Ji Yuan. Last night, I was thinking about saving over 900 yuan on tickets, but if I have to go with the two of them, then forget it. I'm afraid I'd be disgusted to death. Ji Yuan thought I was bored alone, so he took me along. You wouldn't mind, would you, little sister? We used to play together as a trio all the time before, didn't we? Hearing this, my stomach churned. How could I have been so happy playing with the two of them before? I really was a fool, sister. You're going to repeat a year of school. How could you be bored? Aren't you planning to go to Qing University next year? A flicker of resentment flashed in Zhou Xian's eyes. Nian Nian, let's ask Ji Yuan for his opinion. If he doesn't want me to go, I won't. As for repeating the year, I'm sure I'll be fine. Whoever pays the bill gets to call the shots. I sat at the dining table, picked up a steamed bun, and started eating. Little did I know that the live comments were already in an uproar. What's wrong with this supporting character? If it weren't for the female lead, she wouldn't have had the chance to get a free ticket to the underwater world. Yeah, sweetie, go on a date with the devoted second male lead. The female supporting character is so unnecessary. Isn't it the female lead and the second male lead scheming to steal the female lead's phone? Today is the day to fill out college applications, right? Unfortunately, today isn't actually the day to fill out college applications. The female supporting character is kind of pitiful. Her boyfriend asked her out, but it was actually for another woman. If it were me, I'd want to bang my head against a wall. The supporting female character should just exit the stage quickly. In the original story, the female lead goes to university, and the supporting character only appears again at the very end of the series. Speaking of which, the supporting female character died quite tragically. The male lead's rival mistook her for the female lead, kidnapped her, and burned her to death. After the shock, the male lead loved the female lead even more. Well, I've achieved a world where I'm the only one getting hurt. Thinking about that kind of death, I'm determined to apply to Beida University, cut ties with Qingda University, and never set foot in Qingda again in this lifetime. Ji Yuan arrived at our house just as I finished breakfast. He was carrying quite a few things, bottled water and snacks, all packed to the brim. I was afraid I'd disturb your sleep, but I didn't expect everyone to be up already. His face was full of delight, and the excitement in his eyes when he saw Zhou Xian was especially hard to conceal. There aren't many shops inside, so I bought the snacks you usually like. That way, it won't be boring while we're walking around. How thoughtful, except that all the snacks inside are ones Zhou Xian particularly likes. The drinks are also all Zhou Xian's favorites. I usually only drink mineral water, and there isn't a single bottle of mineral water inside. Various vitamin C drinks. You bought so much, it must be tiring to carry. My sister just told me to study at home. Would I be disturbing your date if I went? Zhou Xian looked smugly at the bags full of snacks and drinks. The answer is on the tip of my tongue. The smile on Ji Yuan's face faded as he glanced at me. Nian Nian, how can you be so selfish? Xian is retaking the exam, and she must be feeling down. This is the time to take her out to have some fun. It's not too late to start reviewing when school begins. Then you can take my sister. The day after tomorrow is when we need to submit our college applications. I want to spend these 2 days looking into which major might be a better fit. Ji Yuan's smile froze on his face. Isn't today the day to submit the applications? Today is the first batch. Are you applying for a military academy, or for public security, judiciary, or firefighting? I looked at him, full of confusion. He quickly shook his head. I'm applying for a major in finance, just like Xian. The male lead is indeed a finance major. the female lead and the male lead fall in love at first sight on campus, then they end up in the same class, and from there, the Cinderella and Prince Charming story begins. The devoted second male lead becomes a shadow to the two of them from then on. So devoted, so heart-wrenching. I love it so much. This part cannot be omitted. Ugh, when will the female supporting character be written out of the story? After speaking, Ji-Yuan picked up his phone to check and confirmed that the second batch of college applications would only open in 2 days. The smile on his face faded by half. Xian, do you still want to go to the aquarium today? Zhou Xian spared a bit of attention from her phone screen for Ji-Yuan. Since we're not filling out applications today, let's wait until the day after tomorrow to celebrate together for my sister. You've already taken me to the aquarium so many times, so let's skip it today. Ji-Yuan was quite disappointed. Seeing Zhou Xian's attention fully return to her phone, he didn't press further. He turned to me and said, then, Nian, I'll take you for a walk in the park. We can all go to the aquarium together in a couple of days. Fine, I happily agreed. I was quite pleased to separate this affectionate pair. And at the moment, I didn't want to stay in the same space as Zhou Xian either. Ji-Yuan left all the snacks and water behind and went hiking with me to the park. We walked through the park one after the other, with the distance between us as wide as the Yellow River. I used to think he was a gentleman, but now I realize he was keeping himself pure for Zhou Xian. The supporting female character is so shameless. The second male lead clearly loves the female lead, yet she still sticks with him. Can't she see how absent-minded he is while walking with her? The barrage started criticizing me again, but I was already numb to it. Isn't Ji-Yuan just pretending to be close to me so he can steal my phone? Both Zhou Xian and I have facial recognition on our phones. This was something Zhou Xian specifically asked me to do before, saying that as sisters, we don't need secrets. I can open her phone anytime, and she can open mine anytime, so that if something happens to me, she can still access my phone. Looking back now, all that sisterly affection and the act of being a foolish, clueless older sister were nothing but a lie. How ridiculous. I clearly didn't take anything extra and even gave in to her. Without thinking further, I stopped in my tracks. Ji-Yuan, walking ahead, had been playing with his phone with his head down, moving forward mechanically. Finally, he walked out of my sight. I sat down on the spot, admiring the scenery of the park. This suffocating life will soon come to an end. Fortunately, I've become the top scorer in the college entrance exam, so I won't have to worry about tuition for the next few years. With the scholarship, I'll soon be completely independent. At this thought, the air in the park felt a little fresher. The night before filling out the college application forms arrived, while everyone was asleep, I quietly left home and found a youth hostel where I rented a bed for 50 yuan. I only have 2,000 yuan in my pocket, all saved from my usual pocket money. Zhou Xian's parents give her tens of thousands in pocket money every month, yet they say she's foolish. A long time ago, I also had several thousand yuan in pocket money every month. But after that electricity bill incident, which cost the factory millions, my pocket money was reduced to 500 yuan a month, and all the money in my card was taken back. 500 yuan is very little, but I have no complaints. I thought I was helping my parents save money, but now it's left me in a difficult situation. Perhaps in the youth hostel, there is no one who dislikes me, and no one who schemes against me. Amidst a chorus of snores, I actually slept very well. When I woke up the next day, my phone was flooded with calls, and my WeChat had over 99 unread messages. In the past, no one would check on me even if I was away for days, but this time they were genuinely worried. I went to an internet cafe, logged into the college application system, and submitted my choices. The system allowed 3 submission attempts. To prevent my family from changing my choices midway, I used up all 3 attempts, leaving them no chance to alter my decisions. Only after finishing everything did I walk back home. When I opened the door, I could feel the heavy atmosphere at home. It was noon, and both my parents were there, along with Ji-Yuan. Zhou Xian was on the sofa, wiping away tears and crying again. I was really getting tired of her crying. Where have you been? My father, holding a cigarette in his hand, threw it to the ground, crushed it under his foot a few times, and then walked straight over to me. Where's your phone? I took out my phone, which was turned off. It ran out of battery. What's wrong? To make my phone run out of battery, I opened all the apps on it and watched quite a few videos on the way. By the time I got home, it had shut down perfectly. Why didn't you tell us you were going out tonight? My mom, holding Zhou Xian, was full of reproach. I said I was going to a classmate's house to play. I used to go often before. you never acted like this back then, and you couldn't even be bothered to reply to my messages. What kind of time is this? It's the big day for filling out college applications, and you still run out. My dad plugged my phone into the charger and stood guard beside it, afraid I might take it away. Hearing this, Zhou Xian cried even harder. I rolled my eyes inwardly. The river's water isn't as abundant as your tears. It's because of filling out the college application. I went to discuss it with my classmates. I was afraid that if I filled it out at home, my sister would be reminded of sad memories. Look how heartbroken she is. Dad, you shouldn't have mentioned filling out the application in front of her. Zhou Xian's crying suddenly stopped, and she glanced at me in disbelief. I was just worried that something might happen to my sister while she was out. That's why I cried. It wasn't because of filling out the application. I casually brushed aside the long hair in front of my chest, crossed my arms, and looked at her. Sister, I'm home safe and sound, but I don't see you happy about it. And she cried even harder. No, I was just too worried about you. Our parents didn't even go to work because of you. You're being so inconsiderate. I raised an eyebrow, not wanting to respond. Did our parents skip work because of me? The way Dad was glued to his phone, I'd say the phone was his real daughter. Ji Yuan had been sitting quietly beside me the whole time, not saying a word. Only when everyone else fell silent did he speak to me. Nian Nian, I applied for the finance major at Qing University. You should apply for it too. We can go to school together, maybe even be in the same class. Sure. After replying, I went back to my room, closed the door, and took a shower to change clothes. Not having showered last night made me feel uncomfortable all over. By the time I came out, the atmosphere in the living room had dropped several levels lower than when I first got home. My phone was now on the floor, shattered into pieces. Nian Nian, why did you fill out the application on your own? My phone was under my father's feet, mixed with the shattered pieces and a pile of cigarette butts. Thankfully, it was a marble floor, or I would have been in the middle of a fire by now. Isn't it me who's going to school? Shouldn't it be natural for me to choose my own major? What major did you choose? Museum studies. How are you going to help develop our factory with that in the future? The veins on his forehead bulged, as if he were about to explode at any moment. What does the factory have to do with me anyway? They never intended to give it to me in the first place. I replied to him lightly. Dad, leave the development of the factory to my sister in the future. She's studying finance, so she'll definitely be able to get our family's factory listed on the stock market. Uncle, Auntie, please don't get too worked up. What's done is done, and there's nothing we can do about it. Even if Nian Nian chose museology, she can still take finance as a minor later on. Universities allow double majors, so there's no need to rush. Let me figure something out first. The plot is falling apart. Getting a second degree is no easy task. Museology alone is going to wear our sweetie out. It's all because of that supporting female character stirring up trouble. Museology sounds absolutely terrifying. Why hasn't that supporting female character been written off yet? It's infuriating. How much longer is she going to keep causing trouble? Our sweetie has cried so much her eyes are swollen. It's so sad that she can't get into the major she wanted. Boo-hoo, different majors, different schools. Sweetie, when will you finally meet the male lead? I'm so annoyed. I'm dropping this story. Am I the only one who thinks the female supporting character is so pitiful? She sees a bunch of family and a boyfriend who love her, but in reality, no one truly has her in their hearts. Ji Yuan's words did comfort the remaining few, except for me. Zhou Xian also stopped crying. My parents no longer gave me cold looks, and Dad even apologized to me. Nian Nian, I was just in a moment of panic earlier and broke your phone. Go buy a new one. He gave me a card and told me to use it to buy a phone. Of course, this card had to be returned to him later. I picked up the broken pieces of the phone from the floor, took out the SIM card, and left the house. I went to an ATM, withdrew 10,000 yuan, deposited it into my own card, and then went to a second-hand phone store to buy an old phone. I asked the shopkeeper to replace the casing with a brand new one, making the phone look as good as new. When I returned home, the four of them were once again filled with laughter and joy. I returned the card to my dad and then went back to my room. I don't want to act in this play at all. Ji Yuan stayed at our house for another day, taking care of all the household chores and playing the role of the devoted second male lead to perfection. It's laughable that I used to think it was because of me. Time passed slowly, and soon it was mid-August. Bay University freshmen are to report in late August, and I start preparing my luggage for school. 3 days before departure, the barrage of information suddenly hits me hard, leaving me feeling wounded all over. My parents plan to drug me tomorrow, make me unconscious, then lock me at home while taking my sister to report at Bay University. Ji Yuan will take care of me at my house, they won't let me out until everything is settled for my sister. This was the plan of Ji Yuan and my parents, but Ji Yuan, fearing that the goddess in his heart might encounter any mishap, wanted to completely cut off any chance of me causing trouble at Bay University. He intended to hand me over to human traffickers, to be tied up and sent to the countryside to become someone's wife, to a place deep in the mountains, so remote that you couldn't even walk out of it. He specifically chose the kind of place where once you enter, you'd end up pregnant, and if you dared to run, your legs would be broken and you'd be chained up. My blood ran cold. The barrage was also in an uproar over this issue. One side felt that Ji Yuan and Zhou Xian didn't need to go to such extremes, they had already ruined my life, yet they still wanted to send me to hell. On the other hand, some believed that if you don't uproot the weeds, you're leaving trouble for yourself. If I were to cause a scene at school, the female lead's perfect image would be ruined. The female lead simply made the choice that was best for her. On the second to last night before leaving for Beta University, I brought a glass of milk to Zhou Xian. Sister, you've always brought me milk at night before. Since I'm leaving for school tomorrow, today I'll bring you some milk. Zhou Xian was playing on her phone, her smile still lingering. She put down her phone and looked at me with an unreadable expression. Today, I wanted to give her one last chance, to see if she still had even a little bit of sisterly affection for me. The thought of being chained up and treated as a breeding tool still felt too cruel to me. As a fellow woman, I hope she doesn't do such things. Thank you, little sister. Ji Yuan will come tomorrow to see you off, so you should leave early tomorrow. I won't keep you. She didn't take the milk I offered, nor did she spare me a glance. Instead, she sent a voice message right in front of me. Ji Yuan, remember to come on time tomorrow. I'll leave my sister in your care. After saying this, she noticed I hadn't left yet and said with a smile, your brother Ji Yuan will be here to accompany you tomorrow. Go to bed early. Tomorrow marks the beginning of your new life. She laughed heartily, and the hope in my heart faded, leaving me with some regret but no sorrow. You were the one who acted without benevolence first, so don't blame me for being unrighteous. Sister, you should go back quickly. You have school tomorrow, and Mom will definitely bring you honey milk tonight because she can't bear to see you go without it. Remember to drink it. I turned around and went back to my room. Sure enough, Mom soon entered my room with a glass of milk. Looking at the spiked milk, my heart remained calm, as I already knew their plan in detail through the bullet comments. What a familiar scene. First my sister gave me mushroom soup, and now my mother is giving me spiked milk. Mom, did you bring milk just for me? I took the milk as if to drink it, then suddenly stopped. My innocent eyes made my mother's brain freeze for a moment. Yeah, she nodded mechanically. I led her to the kitchen and casually placed my milk on the kitchen cabinet. Mom, what you're doing isn't right, seeing me go to school while she can't. My sister must be feeling sad all alone. If you bring me milk alone, she'll only feel worse when she finds out. I heated the milk and added honey right in front of her. My mom was still confused. Mom, give me those 2 rock sugars. At home, my sister likes rock sugar. She looked up, opened the wall cabinet to get the rock sugar, and I took the chance to switch the 2 cups of milk. When my mom handed me the rock sugar, I casually dropped it into the milk that had been tampered with. Afraid the taste might be off, I added several more pieces of rock sugar. Then, I handed the milk cup to my mom. You should take it to my sister, she needs your comfort right now. As I spoke, I also drank the milk in my hand. Only after watching me finish the milk in my hand did my mom enter Zhou Xian's room. Seeing me appear in the room again, Zhou Xian was taken aback. Before she could speak, I spoke up first. Sister, even if you don't drink my milk, you should at least drink the one Mom prepared for you. Mom was worried you'd be upset, so she specially made you honey milk with rock sugar. It's your favorite flavor. Zhou Xian looked at my mom, and my mom nodded, indicating that the milk was fine. Watching the interaction between the two, I pushed my mom in front of Zhou Xian. Sister wouldn't refuse even Mom's face, would you? I've already finished the milk Mom gave me. Green tea. I can play that game a little too. Zhou Xian is great at playing the good daughter, so how could she argue with that? Hearing that I had drunk the milk, she didn't hesitate and drank it all. Watching Zhou Xian finish the drink, I returned to my room. All of this is your own choice, Zhou Xian. You must bear all the consequences yourself. Adults must always take responsibility for their mistakes. The supporting female character is too malicious. She actually deceived her mother and made Sweetie drink the spiked milk. Did the author eat mushrooms? The plot has completely gone off the rails. Confirmed, the author ate mushrooms and got up in the middle of the night to rewrite the plot. my daughter is going to the countryside to have her legs broken. It's just too awful. The beautiful love between the male and female leads is gone. My life has lost its joy. Where's my 40-meter-long sword? I no longer pay attention to the barrage comments. I live for myself, not for the sake of the plot. At 4 in the morning, my alarm went off. I went to Zhou Xian's room and patted her face. She was completely dead asleep. From the bullet comments, I knew this medicine could make her sleep for 2 days. I moved Zhou Xian to my bed, changed her into my clothes, then went to her room, put on her clothes, and slept in her bed. Perhaps it was the author's setting for the plot, but Zhou Xian and I looked almost exactly alike. Even our voices were identical. The only difference between us was our temperaments. She always looked like she had been wronged and was always crying, so my parents could easily tell us apart. At 6 in the morning, my mother came knocking on the door. I poked my head out and greeted her in Zhou Xian's tone. She was also very nervous herself, completely unaware of the difference between me and Zhou Xian. Xian. Get up quickly, we're going to the airport in a bit. She also brought over the packed luggage from my room. We didn't have breakfast at home and hurriedly left. At the airport, I took out Zhou Xian's phone and started playing with it openly and confidently. A message from Ji Yuan appeared on the phone, showing Zhou Xian tied up with her mouth gagged, even though she couldn't speak at all right now. When I scrolled through the chat history between the two of them, a notification popped up at the top of the phone. I tapped on it and saw a group chat with 4 people, Zhou Xian, Ji Yuan, and my parents. This was the group for updates on my latest situation. Ji Yuan sent a message, I've arrived. I plan to take Nian out for a few days. A photo of Zhou Xian lying in the back seat, with Ji Yuan covering her entire body with his own clothes, only revealing the top of her head. Soon, my parents sent a message, you've worked hard. They were very excited and didn't notice one issue. If Ji Yuan had been taking me out to play all along, how did he manage to register at the school? Arriving at the gate of Bay University, I felt excited. At the very least, I had already changed the fate described in the original story, where I couldn't attend school and had to work in a factory. Without a doubt, I wouldn't have been very happy working in my family's factory either. After all, I am the sinner of the factory. Classmate, are you also studying museology? A pleasant voice interrupted my inquiry. Turning around, I saw a handsome face, the kind of handsome that is both aggressive and brimming with hormones. For a moment, I actually felt a bit of a flutter. Yes, the female supporting character actually met the male lead. Isn't the male lead at Qing University? How could they run into each other here? This world has completely gone mad. Does everyone still remember the original plot? What's going on with the female supporting character? Why does she look so disdainful of the male lead? The male lead is so handsome, the most valuable man in the capital city. How can she be so dismissive of him? Could it be that the author ate mushrooms and still hasn't recovered? The plot has already gone completely off the rails. The female lead was sold off to the countryside, and the male lead fell in love with the female supporting character at first sight. My sweetie, woo woo woo, give me back my sweetie. Seeing the bullet screen reminder that this is the male lead, the smile on my face instantly vanished, replaced by a thousand-year frost. The person opposite seemed not to notice, pulling a young girl in front of me. This is my sister, she's also studying museology. You two should look out for each other in the future. My parents, noticing the other party's demeanor, immediately brightened up. You're all classmates, it's only right to look out for one another. I took my admission letter and headed toward the college, completely ignoring the reactions of everyone behind me. Xian, that person looks very noble and distinguished. It would be beneficial for you to befriend them in the future, my father advised me. Yes, that girl is dressed in all designer brands, things I only dare to look at but never buy. Her family must be very wealthy. My mother chimed in, Mom, Dad, if you don't want me to be discovered for taking my sister's place at school, you should call me Nian from now on. Alright, Xian, I mean, Nian. My mother gently patted her own mouth. My mistake, we'll call you Nian from now on. From now on, I need to learn Nian's way of speaking. Several other classmates also attend this school, and if anyone notices, all our planning will be in vain. I continued typing. I've been studying Nian's speech patterns lately. Mom and Dad, please be careful not to slip up. The two of them nodded repeatedly. Xian is right. No, Nian is right. Mom was being foolish. I was just thinking today how you seemed a bit like Nian, but now I understand your concern. Of course, I could see it, but since I was holding Zhou Xian's phone, she suppressed her thoughts again. This was the perfect opportunity to use the male lead to spread the word about this matter. Mom, Dad, Nian is someone who isn't liked by her classmates. If I were to be universally adored, it would be troublesome if my classmates who are also studying at this university found out. Making friends can wait until next year. That's right, Nian is correct. We shouldn't rush things. Dad is looking forward to you graduating with a double degree and bringing glory to our factory. Okay, anyway, since we're at different schools, even if we study the same major, I won't run into the male lead. After completing the boarding procedures, my parents transferred 100,000 yuan to me. I immediately transferred the money from Zhou Xian's phone to my own account. I accompanied my parents for a couple of strolls around the city. Finally, on the third day, the two of them received a message from Ji Yuan. Something's wrong, Nian is missing. I've been searching all day and still can't find her. Upon seeing the message, my parents immediately headed home. I thought they would call the police, but to avoid exposing the fact that Zhou Xian had taken my place at school, they searched for a few days and then gave up. Seeing how lightly they regarded me still made me feel a bit sad, and so, university life began. To avoid exposing that I wasn't Zhou Xian, I chose finance as my second major. Everything proceeded in an orderly manner, except for Fu Tong following me around all day. You're so interesting, why don't you like my brother? He's loved by everyone and adored by flowers. She asked me this question over and over again. Not only do I not like your brother, but I also don't like you. Why are you so free, following me every day? We're in the same major, the same class. I'm not following you, we just happen to be going the same way. Do you also happen to be going to finance class? I'm just curious about what my brother studies all day. Now I have something to talk about with him when I go home. I bought a pair of over-ear headphones, and from then on, whenever I wasn't in class, I wore them to shut Fu Tong out. I absolutely refused to get involved in the male lead's world. This is my bottom line. Ji Yuan also came to see me at school from time to time. Every time I saw his affectionate gaze, I found it amusing. He probably didn't love me that much either. Otherwise, how could he have failed to recognize the person he truly loved? Xian, call me Nian. There's a concert by the Song Queen today. Do you want to go? Didn't you always want to see her perform before? Thanks to you, I now have to take 2 courses and have no time. Xian, don't dwell on it. I only said that back then because I didn't want you to be upset. I didn't know taking 2 courses would be so busy. I brushed him off again by saying that the 2 specialized courses were keeping me very busy. Time passed day by day. As graduation from university approached, Ji Yuan suddenly appeared before me, his eyes filled with bitter resentment. Oh my god, is the second male lead going to kill the female supporting character? He didn't recognize the female lead himself, and now he wants to take it out on the female supporting character. How interesting. The female lead is so pitiful. She lost an eye, her left leg is broken, she's pregnant with a child, gave birth to 3 children in 4 years, and her body is completely ruined. I stood motionless in front of the dormitory building, completely still. Actually, I was checking the bullet comments to see what was happening at the moment. Nian, Ji Yuan grabbed my wrist, and an excruciating pain immediately shot through it. Let go of me. I was at a standoff with him, and finally, amid the constantly scrolling barrage of comments, I found the crucial information that lunatic Ji Yuan, after enduring 4 years of cold neglect in college, suddenly remembered me, whom he had sent away. He thought that if it were me, I would never have neglected him, and he began to miss me, his backup option. In the end, he ran to the countryside and found Zhou Xian, whom he had sold off. In the end, he realized that he had sold the person he loved dearly, and in his unbearable pain, he wanted to join me in death to atone for his goddess's sins. This is really fucking insane. If you want to die, go by yourself. Why drag me into it? Why do you always have to involve me in everything you do? Am I that cheap? He dragged me outside. The difference in strength between men and women was too great, and I was pulled along by him. In the end, I could only collapse and sit on the ground, crying out, help. Ji Yuan looked at the people who wanted to come forward to help. This is a private matter between me and my girlfriend. If anyone dares to step up, don't blame me for being ruthless. He pulled a knife from his pocket, and those who were about to help immediately backed away. You're so strange. When did Nian ever have a boyfriend? You shameless scoundrel. You've been chasing after Nian all along, and she never agreed. Are you planning to force her now? Fu Tong swung her $1 million bag at Ji Yuan. When Ji Yuan was about to stab Fu Tong with a knife, Fu Tong took off her high heels and hit him on the head. You better think carefully. I am the only daughter of the Fu family in the capital. If you stab me, not only will your 9 clans be implicated, but at the very least, all your relatives connected to you will lose their jobs and go bankrupt. Ji Yuan's hand froze in mid-air. The next second, the knife in his hand was kicked away and flew toward a tree trunk, where it stuck firmly, unmoving. Fu Ting had appeared at the scene at some point. Call the police. The police arrived quickly. This person attacked with a knife, Fu Ting said, showing the police the wound on the back of his hand. Fu Tong was terrified. Brother, how did you get hurt? He just cut me with a knife, Fu Ting replied calmly, while the surrounding students looked bewildered. 2 students stepped forward. Officer, this person first held our classmate hostage with a knife and then injured young Master Fu. After these words were spoken, everyone began to chime in, as they had all seen it. The wound on the back of Fu Ting's hand was deep, running across it, looking gruesome and terrifying. Officer, wouldn't you say this counts as more than a minor injury? Causing injury with a knife, if classified as minor, may result in a sentence of up to 3 years of imprisonment, detention, or control. Serious injury may result in a sentence of 3 to 10 years in prison. If there is no injury, the maximum penalty is a fine of 500 yuan, and after 2 days of education inside, one can be released. Fu Ting deliberately injured himself to get him in, which touched me a little, but I quickly suppressed the feeling. Everyone was taken to the police station. The surveillance footage from downstairs in the dormitory building clearly shows him pulling me outside, but the scene under the tree afterward was blocked by the tree from the camera's view. All the evidence, witnesses, and material proof were complete. Based on the severity of the injuries, Fu Ting strongly demanded a 5-year prison sentence. Just as Ji Yuan was about to say something, Fu Tong raised her fist to threaten him. In the end, Ji Yuan couldn't explain why he had kidnapped me, and with evidence proving he had attacked with a knife, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison. If he dared to mention Zhou Xian's matter, he would have faced an even longer sentence. Afraid to tell my parents that he had mistaken the person, Ji Yuan didn't dare to admit that he had brought Zhou Xian back. Since he was imprisoned, the people from the countryside eventually came looking for her. Zhou Xian had just seen the light of day before being taken back to the countryside to suffer. I learned all of this through the bullet comments. Finally, I graduated from university. I received an opportunity to study museology abroad, and without hesitation, I accepted the invitation. On the day I left, Fu Tong came to see me off. Why don't you like my brother? He's outstanding from head to toe, the heir to the Fu group, and so good-looking. I seriously suspect you're blind. Fu Tong cried so hard she could barely catch her breath. I just see you as a friend. Why are you so stubborn? All right, do you have a masochistic streak or something? I'm leaving. Goodbye. I embarked on my journey abroad. I also submitted all the evidence of Ji Yuan and my parents' initial kidnapping of me to the police, along with proof of Ji Yuan's involvement in human trafficking and the crimes I had collected from the human trafficking village over the years. From now on, the male and female leads are out of sight. Parents who don't love me are out of sight. The plot is out of sight too. My life has just begun. I am still young, and there are endless possibilities. Extra, 5 years later, I returned to China after completing my studies abroad and was appointed as the director of the National Classics Museum of China. This news caught the attention of various parties, and the youngest and most accomplished female director of the National Classics Museum in China quickly became a trending topic. My photos and background information inevitably became widely known to the public. My past achievements, such as being the top scorer in the provincial college entrance examination, studying in several foreign countries, and my history as the youngest and most accomplished museum director, were all brought to light. My parents also came looking for me. 5 years had passed, and both of them had hair as white as snow, their faces etched with the marks of age, wrinkles now covering their features. I almost didn't recognize them. This was the same spirited and confident couple I once knew, though they were never extremely wealthy. They had lived a carefree life, which had kept them well maintained. As soon as they saw me, they knelt down. Nian Nian, it was my fault. I shouldn't have been so blinded back then, letting your sister take your place at school. Please forgive me, won't you? Come back home, won't you? She knelt and crawled forward, grabbing onto the hem of my suit pants. After 5 years, the barrage of comments reappeared. Through the comments, I learned that after I left China, my parents were arrested for kidnapping. However, since their motive wasn't extortion and they weren't holding anyone for ransom, and they actively admitted their mistakes and confessed the facts, they were ultimately sentenced to 3 years in prison. They behaved well, cooperated actively, and were released 2 years early, but those 2 years in prison severely damaged their health. By the time they were released, they had lost the ability to have children. In their desperation to have a child, they sought out doctors and tried all sorts of folk remedies and medications after their release, but they never managed to conceive. Upon hearing that the two had been sentenced, the people below sold the factory's multimillion-dollar machinery and fled, resulting in a huge financial loss. For the sake of their child, the couple had no heart to continue running the factory. They sought medical help everywhere and unexpectedly arrived at the village where Zhou Xian lived. The villagers there had a local doctor skilled in helping women conceive, and they heard the news of Zhou Xian's death in the village. The couple did not obtain any fertility prescriptions, but they did hear from villagers who had not been imprisoned about Zhou Xian's tragic death. They also mentioned that Zhou Xian had constantly complained, saying she was the one who should have gone to school and that she was the older sister. Upon hearing this, their hair turned white overnight. They went bankrupt but still searched for ways to continue trying to conceive. When they saw me trending online, they immediately came to the capital and cornered me in the parking lot. You must have mistaken me for someone else. Zhou Nian, have long been an orphan with no parents. I shook off her hand. Nian Nian, your father was wrong. Can't you forgive him? We gave you life and raised you for over a decade. I took 2 steps back, looking down at the two of them. Their hair was disheveled, making them look like beggars. When you decided to ruin Zhou Nian's life, when you knew she was missing and left her to fend for herself for the sake of your Zhou Xian, she had already repaid your debt of birth and upbringing. And there was also the bullet comment about my tragic death in the countryside. I turned and got into the car, not giving them any chance to frame me. The next day at work, my assistant reported, "Director, there's someone here to see you, claiming to be your boyfriend. His identity is special," so I didn't stop him. In the meeting room, I saw Ji Yuan. He was no longer the bright young man he once was. His body was covered in tattoos, and though only in his early 20s, he had already gained weight. If he hadn't said he was Ji Yuan, I wouldn't have recognized him. According to the bullet comments, for human trafficking plus the previous year, he was sentenced to a total of 6 years, thinking that his goddess needed him to save her. He worked the hardest in prison and was released in less than 5 years. Unfortunately, by the time he got out, his goddess was gone. Nian Nian, you truly loved me back then, didn't you? Now that your sister is gone, you are the only one in my heart. When spoken by someone handsome and charming, these words might have a bit of appeal, but with Ji Yuan as he is now, the saying, "Time is a butcher's knife," is all too evident. I almost threw up. Through the bullet comments, I also learned about Ji Yuan. Because he went to prison, the Ji family, worried about the impact on the company's stock price, disowned him. Without a college degree and a criminal record, and with Fu Ting having put the word out everywhere, he simply couldn't find a job. In the end, a fellow inmate who was released with him took him in, and he became a security guard at a bar, spending his days drinking, smoking, and getting tattoos with a group of people. Life is a complete mess right now. Even the illegitimate children of the Ji family can step on him at will. He is in agony, regretting his foolish actions back then. Knowing that I became the museum director, he thinks that since I loved him before, his life can rise again. Sir, the chat records of you and my sister conspiring to sell me are still there. You don't think I would still love a hypocrite like you, do you? I projected Zhou Xian's phone screen onto the large screen in the conference room. Look at your current image, your income, and your lifestyle. Do you even deserve to shine my shoes? Where do you get the nerve? Don't you know it was me who sent you and those scum from the human trafficking village to prison? I've heard you've been up to a lot lately. If you dare show up in front of me again, I won't mind gathering more evidence to send you back in. This time, you might not get out so easily, because I'll make sure you get special treatment. Seeing the chat history between the two on the screen, Ji Yuan was instantly speechless. Coming back to his senses, he gritted his teeth and said, "Why are you still keeping this?" "Of course, it's because I'm afraid of you, getting involved with you, in this lifetime. I never want to have anything to do with this so-called devoted second male lead again." In the end, Ji Yuan, pale-faced, chose to remain outside and suffer. For him, the difference between being outside the prison cell and inside was that outside, he had a bit of personal freedom. A few days later, my parents came again. In the same meeting room, I projected their group chat from back then, the group chat that targeted my kidnapping. along with the evidence I had used to push them to their deaths. Both of them vomited blood on the spot, but I didn't pay it any mind. Have you ever wondered who it was that sent you in back then? Seeing this, the two of them looked at each other with terrified eyes. The obedient daughter was gone for good, hunched over their broken bodies. They fled the museum as if escaping. Clearly the prison life had left them with searing memories, so much so that they forgot to scold me for being unfilial before running off. Fu Tong found me and wanted to work with me. She was originally managing the antiques for the Fu family, but when she heard I had become the museum director, she insisted on coming to find a job. Even as a receptionist, I told her to go through the formal process on her own, and whether she could pass would depend on her abilities. In fact, she was quite capable, and she started working a few days later, bringing her brother along. Let me reintroduce myself, this is my brother, the new CEO of the Fu Group, she said with a beaming smile. Sorry, we don't have any collaboration with the Fu Group. The Fu family originally donated 1,000 rare and out-of-print ancient books, 1,000 ancient artifacts, and 2,000 antiques, Fu Ting said leisurely. In that case, cooperation might not be out of the question. I immediately changed my tone. This is for the sake of the country, and the Fu family's business will also benefit from it. It's a good thing, and I don't need to let my personal matters affect the nation's interests. From then on, Fu Ting traveled around the world collecting various ancient books and artifacts, and the museum's catalog visibly grew. Even so, outside of work, I still keep a galaxy's distance from Fu Ting. As for those related to the original plot, I want nothing to do with them in my personal life. I don't want to be controlled by the plot again and die for no reason. This time, I'm living only for myself. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.